The ultimate solution for throwing caution to the wind and removing an entire directory contents and all is the rm command with both the R option and F option. So the RM command with RF option gives no warnings and no fanfare. This, of course, is an extremely dangerous tool to have, especially if you have super user privileges. Use it sparingly and only after triple checking to make sure that you are doing exactly what you want to do. So I think we have used RMRF in our previous exercise, but still, if you have it out, we'll directly get into the temp. So here, if you are unable to delete some file, you can directly use rm and force it and recursively that file for.txt, and then you can delete it. That's how an rm and rf works. So now we will move on to viewing the file type. So you can use several commands for looking inside files without having to pull out a text editor utility later in this course. So this section demonstrates a few of the commands you have available to help you examine files. The first one is viewing the file type. Before you go charging off trying to display a file, to try to get a handle on what type of file it is. If you try to display a binary file, you get lots of gibberish on your monitor, and may even lock up your terminal emulator. So the file command is a handy little utility to have around. It can peek inside of a file and determine just what kind of file it is. This following example, you can see that file my script, file new dir, file my file. So this example shows a file that is simply a directory. That file new dir is a directory. Thus the file command gives you another method to distinguish a directory. Now the following example shows the what the file command returns for a script file. When you type file and then my script, although the the response that is returned is the file is ASCII text because it's a script file. You can execute run it on the system. And the final example is a binary executable program. The file command determines the platform that the program was compiled for and what types of libraries it requires. This is an especially handy feature if you have a binary executable program from an unknown source. So let's jump into the Ubuntu version, Ubuntu distribution Ubuntu shell, and then let's start working on that. Let's create a okay, here I'll create mkdir testdir first, and then let me touch it file.txt. So and I'll write vim code.py. That's x is equals to 1, y is equals to 2 and z is equals to x plus y and print z. So this is our Python script. Then and test there. So now let's start checking one by one. So we have different types of files here. So let's check what is file type of test dir. It's clear. It's test dir directory. It's test dir directory. Next, let me clear it off and then check file type of okay, ls file type of script.sh. It's clearly given script.sh is Borny against shell, that is bash. Borny against shell is called as in shortcut, it's a bash script ASCII text executable. Then let me check what type of file is our Python script. That's code.py. Just a minute. Code.py. So it's a code.py and ASCII text. Then what type is our bin and ls? So it's clearly a detailed explanation. Bin ls is a utility. It elf 64 bit lsp pi executable x86 version 1 dynamically linked. So that's how a file command is useful. Then what we have for us is viewing the whole file type. What are the content? Viewing the contents of the file type. If you have a large text file on your hands, you may want to be able to see what's inside of it. Linux has 3 different commands uh, that can help you here, using the first one, using the cat command. So the cat command is a handy tool for displaying all the data inside a text file. So if you use the n parameter or n option, it numbers all the lines for you, and the feature will come in handy when you are examining scripts. If you just want to number the lines that you have text in them, then b parameter is for you. So finally, if you don't want tab characters to appear, use the t parameter. So what will we do is, I think here it is Kantara lyrics. So we will try to view the content in the Kantara lyrics. How can we do that? Using cat. So that will show you all the lines, all the complete contents in it. Okay. So that's one way, or we can use some options with it. Cat and then n number the lines and then Kantara lyrics. See, each line has been numbered. So total 28 lines of data is present in that. Of course, few are empty spaces, but that is also considered as data. So, and we can use one more option, that's cat and then option B and Kantara lyrics. Yes, this time also worked. So this is how a viewing of the whole file can be done. So then we will look into more commands. The main drawback of the cat command is that you can't control what is happening after you start it. To solve the problem, developers created the more command. The more command displays a text file but stops after it displays each page of data. We typed the command more and then uh, to produce a sample more screen. Similarly, we can use a less command. Using the less command, from its name it sounds like it should not be as advanced as the more command. However, the less command name is actually a play on words and is an advanced version of the more command. The less command name comes from the phrase less is more, so it provides several very handy features for scrolling both forward and backward through a text file, as always as some pretty advanced searching capabilities. So let's use these commands, and then okay, so now this is using more and less command. For more it's more and then etc bash rc. That's it. See, this is how it works. So now more 30% is still left. Then scroll down. Here we have 58%, 83%, only 17% is left. Now all is visible. So that is how it is useful in showing. Similarly, less, just a minute, the same command and then less. Okay, I think it's not there with it. Okay, so now we will look into viewing parts of a file instead of looking into complete content of the file or whole file. So we will focus on how to view parts of a file. So often the data you want to view is located either right at the top or buried at the bottom of a text file. If the information is at the top of a large file, you still need to wait for the cat or more commands to load the entire file before you can view it. If the information is located at the bottom of a file, such as a log file, you need to wade through thousands of lines of text just to get to the last few entries. Fortunately, Linux has specialized commands to solve both of these problems. So the first one is tail, using the tail command. So the tail command displays the last lines in a file. Uh, by default, it shows the last 10 lines in the file. So you can change the number of lines shown using a tail by including the n parameter. In this example, only the last two lines of the files are displayed. If you by adding 2 to the tail command. Now what else we have is head command. Using the head command, so the head command does what you would expect. It displays a file's first group of lines. The file's head, by default, it displays the first 10 lines of text. Similar to the tail command, the head command uh, supports the n parameters, so you can alter what is displayed. So both commands also allow you to simply type a dash along with the number of lines uh, to display uh, to display as shown below. So what will we do is Let's open this, and then now we will reduce the width of our shell and increase the length of our shell, and rest all will keep it, and then ls uh, okay. Okay, it has a huge stuff. Okay, let me get into cd opt. That would be fine. Yeah, and now clear it off everything. So now I want to see cd var log. I want to enter into the var log. So I have few files in it, out of which I want to check, out of which I want to cat dpkg.log. Oh, there is a huge amount of stuff in it. So it's a as it has a huge amount of stuff. I don't like to print all the lines of dpkg.log file into the screen. So I would go for tail first. So tail dpkg.log. Okay, tail dpkg.log. So approximately 10 lines were printed. These are the last 10 lines. So we can do another way, that tail and then put an option, that is an option for the number, and only 2 lines we just want to print, and then dpkg dot log is our file. Yes, that's it. Only 2 lines. The last 2 lines were printed. And similarly we can use head and dpkg head dot log. So it has printed only 10. See, here it is, and from here to here only 10. So now we can use the same number option to do the same. So head and then 5 directly, then dpkg.log. Yes, it is. It has printed only 5. This is how the cat file, basically cat more less tail head and n options help us in viewing the files.